Todos, bienvenidos a esta jornada técnica sobre la transformación del sector hotelero en Francia y las tendencias en la feria Equiphotel. Soy Rocío Martín, técnico de desarrollo de mercado en Benelux y Francia dentro de Andalucía TRADE, la Agencia para la Transformación y el Desarrollo Económico de la Junta de Andalucía, donde apoyamos el proceso de internacionalización de las empresas andaluzas. La jornada técnica está organizada en colaboración con la feria Equiphotel, a las que doy las gracias. Equiphotel es una de las ferias más importantes del sector hotelero. Las ponentes será la directora comercial de Equiphotel, Armelle Guillot, muchas gracias, y con la responsable de marketing, Oytun Saritayli. Ambas nos darán las claves de la evolución del sector y las novedades de la próxima edición de la feria. Recordaros que esta jornada técnica está siendo grabada, el vídeo se publicará en nuestra web y también que os enviaremos el enlace de la grabación en cuanto esté subido a la plataforma. Os animamos a participar a través del chat, donde podéis escribir vuestras preguntas, dudas, comentarios y todo lo que queráis compartir con las ponentes o con la directora de nuestra oficina, a quien también saludo, Esther Ferri. Buenos días, Esther, con el resto de los asistentes. Sin más, os cedo la palabra a Esther, que es la directora de la oficina Andalucía TRADE en Francia. Y bueno, simplemente agradecer de nuevo la disponibilidad y la colaboración que ha tenido el equipo de la feria Equiphotel para poder celebrar este webinario. Muchísimas gracias a todos.
Gracias, Rocío. Buenos días a todos y a todas. Bueno, muchos de vosotros probablemente me conocéis ya, probablemente nos hemos visto en algún encuentro de Andalucía TRADE Global o quizás también en los salones, en algún salón de aquí de París, del sector, Maison Objet, puede ser. Bueno, en cualquier caso, antes de todo, presentaros lo que es la oficina de Andalucía TRADE en Francia. Somos dos personas aquí, mi compañero José Sellán y yo. Nuestra misión principal es la de acompañar a las empresas andaluzas en su introducción o bien en su crecimiento en el mercado francés. Para hacer esto existen diferentes acciones de acompañamiento comercial a través de proyectos individuales que pueden ser sondeos o agendas comerciales y que tienen como objetivo ayudaros a conocer mejor o a ganar cuota de mercado aquí en Francia, además de otro tipo de misiones comerciales agrupadas. En paralelo a ese acompañamiento que nosotros podemos hacer en plazos más o menos breves, existe la posibilidad de participar en salones. Para ello, la Consejería de Economía, Hacienda y Fondos Europeos de Andalucía, a través de Andalucía TRADE, ha creado una línea de subvenciones para ayudar a las empresas a participar en una lista de salones internacionales y, bueno, precisamente Equiphotel está dentro de esa lista. Y junto con Rocío y Frédéric Serre, que muchos de vosotros probablemente también conocéis por Maison Objet, nos planteamos la oportunidad de hacer este webinario, puesto que el sector, el mercado hotelero francés es un sector de peso económico importante. En las cifras de junio del 2025 de Eurostat, Francia figura después de España como el país en Europa con la mayor frecuentación hotelera, por delante de Italia y de Alemania. Y a partir de este hecho nos planteamos la idoneidad de hacer este webinario. El parque hotelero francés, más o menos a finales de 2024, principios del 2025, contaba con más de 16.000 hoteles. Ha habido un ligero descenso en la cifra del parque hotelero. Sin embargo, lo que sí que ha aumentado son las capacidades de alojamiento, hasta alcanzar más de casi 700.000 habitaciones a comienzos del 2025. Y todo esto ha contribuido a la evolución positiva de la tasa de ocupación de los hoteles en Francia. El peso del sector es muy elevado, son más de 27.000 millones de euros y en general el mercado francés del hotel ha recuperado su ritmo y su buen dinamismo tras evidentemente la crisis del COVID. No obstante, evidentemente, somos todos conscientes, y esto no es solo algo que ocurre en Francia, sino de manera global, que el sector hotelero hoy en día tiene grandes desafíos debido, pues, evidentemente, al auge de los alquileres a través de Airbnb. En el caso de Francia también ha habido un aumento en la gama de los camping, que también está creando una nueva competencia, entre comillas, ¿no?, al sector hotelero, y bueno, pues también la expansión de los conceptos de apartahoteles. Pero como digo, esto no es algo específico en Francia, son en general los desafíos que hoy tiene con los que tiene que trabajar el sector hotelero. En cualquier caso, según las cifras del Instituto Nacional de Estadística, en 2024 en Francia el hotel sigue siendo el principal tipo de alojamiento turístico colectivo, lo cual indica que sigue siendo el hotel el referente, no solo para los turistas que vienen de otros países extranjeros, sino también para los franceses. Y bueno, después de haber hecho esta pequeña introducción de lo que es el sector, voy a dejar la palabra a Oytun, a Armelle y a Frédéric para que ellos os expliquen más en detalle cuáles son las tendencias del sector aquí en Francia y de qué manera Equiphotel es una oportunidad. Dejo la palabra, no sé si es Oytun, je sais pas, excuse-moi Oytun, je crois que tu as bien suivi en espagnol, mais le Frédéric, ouais, Frédéric il parle très bien, donc je te laisse la parole.
Gracias, Esta.
Eh,
Buenos
bu-
días a
bu-
todos. Fred, est-ce que tu voulais dire quelque
no,
chose?
no, quería agradecer a Esther para esta introducción a Rocío. Y claro, Oytun, que es la responsable de marketing de la feria Equiphotel, empezará con las tendencias del mercado europeo y francés, y luego Armel hablará de la feria, ¿vale? Gracias, Oytun. A tu-
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Fred. So I will switch in English for everyone because I will not be able to do this webinar in Spanish, but maybe next time I will be able to do it. Anyways, is everyone seeing my screen? Okay, so I can start. We wanted to share with you a few figures of the global hospitality market and the projects pipeline that are currently in construction or refurbishment. So we have a strong development pipeline in the world with nearly 8,000 projects. And you can see in this map that Europe is a very strong market with over 2,000 projects currently. So the market is doing well at the moment, and it's positive for the contract sector. The other key figures that I wanted to share is if we come closer to the European hospitality projects pipeline, is the segments and the categories of hotels and the years of opening and what we can expect in the following years. So the first point is the categories of hotels. Among the projects in Europe, you will have 66% of these hotels that are 4-star hotels, and 34% are luxury, so 5 stars and plus. So it's a key information there that most of the hotels projects are really focusing on the high segment. And you can also see a graphic on the years of opening. So until 2029, you'll see that we have a great pipeline of openings among Europe. If we come closer to the performance of the French market, if I can add a few information of what Esther said a few minutes ago, we currently have over 16,000 hotels in France. It's a very dynamic sector. Over 150 hotel projects are planned by 2028. 40% are in Paris. So Paris is a huge driver in the sector, and 60% are in the south of France. It's a very attractive market with a lot of investment. And a lot of hotels are also, we can see, and it's aligned with the key figures that I've shared in the previous slide, that the hotel offering is getting more qualitative with the 4- and 5-star hotel rated rooms in the last 10 years. Also, a little bit of focus on the wellness market. If you are focusing on this market, the revenues are growing every year, and more hoteliers are focusing on what they can offer in terms of well-being in their establishments. Why France is a strategic hospitality market for you and your business? First of all, it's the core hospitality market in Europe. As you know, it's one of the world's leading tourist destinations. It's a very large hotel market and it's mature. And you have a strong presence of the international hotel groups and a lot of decision makers. So even for the international projects, you will have decision makers that are based in France and hotel groups are based in France. So it's very key to be present in the market here in France for the hotel pipeline, the construction pipeline. Secondly, it's also a market driven by a lot of refurbishment and renovation. We have a large hotel stock that needs renovation. So they need consistent, innovation and novelties to add for their clients. And we have also a lot of brand repositioning and a strong demand in FF&E and OS&E. And also it's a good getaway to, as I mentioned before, to international hotel projects. We can say that Paris is a hub for hospitality. And you have a lot of hotel groups that are present in the country. How the French hospitality market works. If you work with the hospitality industry, you may know that there are some regulations and it depends on the country how it's organized, but we can say that we have the key decision makers, which are the investors, the owners of the establishments. We have the operators that work alongside the owners and the investors, and we have also all the buying teams and the specifiers that will help with the buying and the process of the construction and refurbishment. And they are really key in the decision-making process. We also have a few information about how the buying decisions are made. So your future clients, how they define the positioning of the establishment, how they shortlist the suppliers. And it's key to know when these processes are happening to be sure that you are also shortlisted and registered as the supplier for them. Regarding the typical project timelines, we are up to 48 months for new build and between 6 and 18 months in the renovation projects. Most of the people, of the buyers that are coming to Equiphotel are within these figures. So they are working on short and midterm projects. So you can work with them for their future projects in hospitality. About the show now, I will leave Armelle talk a little bit about Equiphotel and get back to more information later.
Thanks, Oytun. Hola a todos. Gracias. I'm not going to do it as well in Spanish. Sorry for that, because I do understand Spanish, but I don't speak very well. So thank you, and sorry for doing it in English. So Equiphotel next edition will be from 2nd to 5th of November 2026 in Paris, Porte de Versailles. So just for your information, for the one who knows Equiphotel, we have shortened deliberately the show to 4 days to optimize and to make everything done in 4 days, as more international shows are doing it as well. So the next show and very established Equiphotel is welcoming hospitality professional, but purchasing consultants and suppliers. So we're going to go in details in the figures. So last edition welcomed 1,200 exhibitors. They are spread in 4 different pavilions, and the global show is organized by categories and 4 sectors. The first one we're going to see in small details, but not in every details. The 4 pavilions with wellness, design, and technology, and food service as well. Sorry, just go. Yeah, sorry, can you? So first, no, if you can come back on the first one. Yeah. So Equiphotel is very international in matter of exhibitors. So 40% of the exhibitors are international, coming from mainly Europe and representing 36 countries on the shows. In terms of visitors, we are more in 12% international visitors. So we do have international, and Oytun will explain where do they come from. And we have also an international program, but mainly coming from Europe, okay? And the global show is welcoming 80,000 professionals during the 5 days in 2024, but will be then in 4 days and coming from 133. So we're going to go now in details of who is coming, what are the visitors coming on Equiphotel. So we are definitely the show dealing for hospitality sectors. So we're welcoming 61% of hospitality, mainly coming from hospitality contracts, and coming from mid-range hotels, so mainly for 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars plus, okay? But we are also welcoming all the range of hospitality campsite, but also the holidays and the residence and apartments as well. So, and they're mainly owners, investors coming on the show. So they have the power to dedicate it, and they are the one who will be buying it. We also have 26% specifiers, meaning the designers who are technically in charge of the project, as Oytun was saying before. So it's mainly interior architect, designers, decorators also. So they have the specific budget as well to plan every renovation or building up. And we also have 10% of procurements and distributions, meaning the buyers, and coming from the distribution. This part also is really important because these guys are in the alley with the procurement, but what is specified as well on Equiphotel is we do have some of this procurement establishment as well exhibiting on the show. For example, Best Western with his procurement is also an exhibitors as well as the Accor one. So that's the typical things as well, which is particular on Equiphotel. So coming from the breakdown geographically, so mainly, as I was saying, internationally, we do have as well the buyer program, and so most of the international are coming from Europe, okay? Mostly Northern Eastern Europe, as you can see, with 46 and then 30 from Southerns. And we do have a little bit of outside Europe, but we are mainly focusing on Europe for the past few years. And coming from France, it's mostly coming from Paris regions with 60%, but the rest of the France is as well quite important with 40%. But that's roughly the market, where the market is actually. If you're taking all the hotel portfolio in France, most of it is based actually with Paris and the Région Île-de-France. So that's explaining as well the figures. If we can go, so yeah. So I'm not going to go in details, but just for you to understand how the show is working. So as I was saying before, we do have 4 different sectors. As Oytun was saying, well-being is a big sector and is a growing sector because the market is there. And so most of the hotels have understood that they can do high benefit revenue coming from the wellness. So that's why we have changed a little bit. And the well-being is at the entrance in the pavilion 4. But also there is an entrance in the pavilion 7.3. So there's both entrance for both big pavilions in terms of pavilion 7 or pavilion 4. So pavilion 4, we're finding all the well-being. Pavilion 7.1 and 7.2 will have the global offer for design with a new sectors with outdoor experience that we gathered in the 7.1. In 7.2, it's mostly what all the designs offers with indoor lighting, tableware. And the 7.3 is dedicated for tech, which is a growing sector as well, and services. And the specification as well is that we are finding the hotel chains as well, as they are visitors, but also exhibitors, to look for franchise in these segmentations. And finally, the food service in the pavilion 7.3 as well. Yeah, that's it. If you go after. Just to give you brand names as well, we are welcoming the Architects Hotel chain, has most visitors as well. So we put you some industry leaders that are coming on the show, and most are here. As I was explaining as well, we're coming from the hotel chains as well, and coming from the 3rd stars until the palace are, and so you can see with the different labels that are here, and some of the manufacturers that you of course knows. And as Oytun was saying as well, what is important is on Equiphotel, we are really welcoming the buyers. They do have a concrete investment project, which is quite high, other 500k euro. And that's why sometimes it's quite interesting to know as well that the decision makers are quite, as it was said, it's made and quite some time, because when you are working on the project, it's not a decision that's going to be made in 1 month. So the decision is quite midterm on Equiphotel. And they do have, we are welcoming these specific buyers. They do have a purchase power, which is quite high, with 1,885 potential coming on the show. So it's definitely a decision makers show. So I'll let Oytun to come back with these decision makers.
We wanted to share a few examples of the projects that were sourced at Equiphotel. One of them is based in France. It's called Le Grand Mazarin, from a hotel chain that's called Maison Pariante. It's a really new hotel chain that is launching a few boutique hotels, and has launched a few boutique hotels in France and is developing in Europe. Their purchasing team came to Equiphotel to source FF&E and OS&E for their Grand Mazarin project that you can visit if you're in Paris. It's in the center of Paris. Another example is in Spain, is the Nuevo Teatro Alcalá from Lola Rua. She also went to Equiphotel a few years ago to source the equipment. She's a designer, she has a studio, and she sourced a lot of her equipment in Paris at Equiphotel for this project. And last but not least, I wanted to talk about Hôtel des Horlogers by Audemars Piguet, which is a watch brand based in Switzerland. They launched their hotel. They wanted to develop in hospitality, and they launched their project a few years ago with BIG, which is a huge studio in Copenhagen, and they sourced all of their OSNE equipment at Equiphotel. Their team came to the show to source their equipment. So you see a few examples of the different type of buyers that you can find. You have obviously hotel chains that have a buying team, studios that are specifying and selecting the products and the equipment that they want to see in their projects, and also buying teams that are more looking for, you know, OSNE and smaller equipment. Another example in a few projects that are current for all these studios that are visiting the show with their design team and their current projects. So it's obviously a presentation that we'll share, and you will be able to see what they're working on. But just to give you an example of what we might see in the future from these studios that are all visiting the show. Just a few key informations about our press agency. We are working with a new press agency that's called Pascal Venot. She has a lot of clients also among the hospitality sector. She's representing a lot of hotels, a lot of hospitality brands, and also restaurants. And she's specializing in luxury and consumer goods. So it's also a good visibility in France to have them as a partner. And quickly about the international promotion that we have. So we're working with international ambassadors and influencers. There are professional influencers that we work with locally to activate the local ecosystems in Europe and in specific countries where we feel like the market is going very well and strong, and we also want to have more visibility among these countries. So you can see a few visuals of the partners that we have in Germany, in the UK, and in a lot of other countries. And we are well connected with the trade associations, the local trade associations, design, hospitality, that also promote the show during the year. And I wanted also to tell you a little bit more about the roadshows that we are organizing. It's not just about the event itself, it's also how we can animate the community, the hospitality community during the year. So we organize regular events, and some of them are going to be held in less than a month. So there's one in London on June 1st, and also one in Madrid in June 11th. So if you're there in Madrid, please join us. It will be a nice event. And a few information about the exhibitor list. I don't know if you want to share.
Yeah, or maybe, yeah, or as well, just to give you some global details about the Spanish exhibitors who are already registered. Some of them are different in different category, where of design, most of them are in design, but also the lighting sector is also very well represented. Don't know, Fred, you know them more than me, but we also have some of them in the wellness sectors. So again, that's big names. They trust us. They have been exhibiting for many years as well. So trusting the show, which is good for them, and giving them a good return on investments. So I'm not going to go in details, but just brand name. Yeah.
Maybe I can add a few things about the Spanish company that are exhibiting in Equiphotel. So most of them are in Equiphotel for a long time. Pero Armelle, je peux le faire en español, ¿no?
Yes, of course, yes.
Bueno, sí, bueno, la mayoría de estas empresas españolas están en la feria desde hace bastante tiempo. Es decir, que realmente el mercado francés y el mercado europeo que estamos desarrollando en Equiphotel funciona muy bien para estas empresas. Y como lo podéis ver, tenemos empresas líderes en casi todos los sectores no voy a decir de la feria, pero de este mercado. Desde el outdoor con ¿Qué tal? Mobiliarica, por ejemplo, el indoor con TM Líder o Espeleta, de la iluminación Leche 4 Marcet, Aromas del Campo, también de la parte de cocina profesional con MyChef, que es una empresa muy importante que ha vuelto la última vez con un éxito muy importante en la feria. Y claro, de toda la parte de construcción con Vives, con Newcare. Tendremos la participación este año otra vez de Tile of Spain para hacer una promoción de la cerámica española en la feria. Y luego toda la parte que estábamos hablando de amenities, de spa o de colchones con empresas importantes, Gomarco, Resquinza, que es una empresa líder en el sector que está en la feria desde hace mucho tiempo. Bueno, y también tenemos esta parte de tecnología con Amenities, Ulmatic y otras empresas. Y este listado de empresas es un listado solo de algunas empresas de cada sector, pero tenemos un listado de empresas españolas mucho más importante porque España es en la feria Equiphotel es el país o uno de los países más importantes desde hace mucho tiempo y está creciendo a cada edición. Para añadir una cosa para vosotros, trabajamos con Extenda Andalucía TRADE desde hace mucho tiempo y es la segunda edición que volvemos o es la primera edición que volvemos a tener el apoyo de Andalucía TRADE. Creo que es una oportunidad muy importante para las empresas andaluzas de estar dentro de este mercado en Equiphotel. Y estamos hablando del mercado francés, pero es más el mercado europeo y cuando hablamos del mercado francés también hablamos de un sector muy importante de las islas francesas, de Caraíbes o de La Reunión, por ejemplo, donde hay muchos hoteles y vienen a visitar la feria, que para ellos es el punto de encuentro cada 2 años para este mercado. Bueno, estaré a vuestra disposición después de la presentación para cualquier información. Jules Finia.
Muchísimas gracias a las cuatro. Espero que las empresas también les haya resultado tan interesante como a mí. Me ha parecido, la verdad es que muy interesante. No sé si hay alguna empresa que quiera o escribir en el chat alguna pregunta o bien encendéis vuestro micro y la compartís de viva voz. No sé si alguna empresa que tenga alguna pregunta. Con respecto a la orden de subvención, como bien ha señalado Esther, no sé si la conocíais ya o no, pero bueno, esta feria está incluida, es susceptible de apoyo de la orden de subvención. Siempre son ayudas que se solicitan a posteriori, ¿vale? Y son ayudas muy completas porque apoyan no solo la participación en sentido estricto, o sea, de espacio y decoración hasta un porcentaje, sino también el viaje para el personal de la empresa, siempre que sea pymes, lo que es el vuelo, el alojamiento y la manutención. Esa parte está basada no en costes reales, sino en costes simplificados. Es decir, que hay una cantidad estipulada para lo que debería de costar un viaje bueno, pues depende de dónde salgáis, desde Sevilla, Málaga, desde donde vayáis, hasta París, y después se establece una cantidad también fija para el hotel y una cantidad para la manutención, ¿vale? Si lo solicitáis por primera vez, siempre digo lo mismo, no os desaniméis, es una subvención que, como sabéis, de la Junta de Andalucía, pues requiere mucha documentación para confirmar un poco, o sea, para comprobar un poco que cumplís con los requisitos. Entonces, la primera vez que lo solicitáis puede ser bastante engorroso, pero después las siguientes veces toda esa documentación se guarda y la documentación que tenéis que aportar para las siguientes veces, bien sea para una feria, para una misión que organicemos nosotros o ICEX o una agenda que organice ICEX o organice TRADE, la documentación a aportar está muy simplificada, es muy sencilla, pero la primera vez es un poco engorrosa, ¿vale? Así que no os desaniméis. Y a ver, tenemos aquí, sí, os vamos a enviar una vez que esté subida a la web de TRADE. Vamos a tener la presentación también. Y bueno, si tenéis alguna duda con los organizadores de la feria, os pasaremos también sus contactos. Frederic, que es el responsable de la feria aquí en España. Y poco más. Si no hay ninguna duda, no sé, voy a revisar el chat. Creo que no hay ninguna duda, ¿no, Esther? ¿Hay ninguna pregunta que se haya planteado?
No, no.
Vale, muy bien. Pues
Hasta el
nada.
momento no hay nada.
Muchísimas gracias a Oytun, a Armelle, a Frederic y a Esther, y a vosotros por participar en esta jornada. Espero veros pronto de nuevo y colaborar con vosotros.
Parece ser que hay
una empresa que
alguien
está escribiendo.
escribiendo.
Sí. A las fechas de la feria, recordármelo bien, era en noviembre, del 2 al 4 de noviembre, ¿puede ser?
Del 2 al 5 de noviembre.
Del 2 al 5 de noviembre en
5.
París. Port de Versailles, con lo cual es más agradable, ¿no? Más fácil que otras
En el
localizaciones
centro.
de otras ferias. Está muy bien conectado, la verdad, por metro, por tranvía, por autobús. Así que nada, muy bien. Pues nada, muchísimas gracias a todos y espero estar en contacto con todos. Merci beaucoup.
Gracias a
Au revoir.
todos.
Merci,
Gracias.
gracias.
Au revoir.
Sí, gracias.
Gracias, adiós.
Eh,
C'est un des plus simples de ce qui